Hello my fans, I am Some Age. And I am going to talk to you about IRC People. Before we start off, let's go back to the year 1996, when the internet became nude-friendly, and all those no-lifers who were playing Monopoly in their back garden with their small sisters put their hands on a keyboard for the very first time in their entire lives. Much before MySpace, YouTube, Facebook, and I don't know what other social rubbishes around existed, there were some pseudo-programs, which acclaimed fame, thanks to millions of hello I need friends kind of people, such as ICQ and Jabber. In mid-2000 a new instant messenger gained popularity. The infamous MSN Messenger. Most of noobs started to use MSN on a daily basis, and since MSN did not have a friend search they started to act normal, and this is how the internet somewhat got sorted for at least a couple years. But much before the year 1996 until nowadays there was one unabashed protocol, the Internet Relay Chat, most commonly known as IRC. On IRC you can find a strange, colorful and variegated form. Most of them are mummels, although I am doubting each and every day about the presence of aliens from outer space in the chat rooms. Now let's move on to the different kinds of mummels you can find online on IRC. The hacker. The hacker is a strange animal who lives in a small room, usually a basement. IRC hackers are one of the few inhabitants of IRC who never had been closer to 1 meter to a real female. Their appearance is somewhat human, but their bodies might range from extremely fat to extremely skinny, although it's either one or the other. There are no reports of hackers which look like a human being. Their faces often present a feel of Down syndrome, or a dense presence of acne, thick glasses and dental problems. Their breath smells worse than a sack of buttholes. Hackers can be often found in chat rooms laughing hysterically at somebody else's typo, or commenting on how good was the 346th time they watched Matrix. While they are not actually a threat, they might scare away real females from IRC chat rooms as they lack of friend-making skills. The channel operator. The channel operator is often a female with a few good looks which befriends a network administrator or an IRC operator. Channel operators are almost human, they live in regular houses and they have regular jobs. Usually a shop assistant or a cook at a tiny restaurant. Channel operators don't usually know how to apply channel modes when they're needed, but their girl charms attract lots of mummels who attempt to mate and procreate with them, or at least to make an impression of such thing. These kind of mummels belong to the good group of IRC people. Channel operators aren't powerful, but as I have said before, they probably befriend admins, and they can pawn your newbie ass if you piss them off. The regulars. The regulars are a variegated group of inhabitants of IRC. They might belong to the same race as the channel operators, but they're either less charismatic, ugly, disabled, or they might be nice people who is not interested about having a super cool rank on IRC. Regulars often clash with hackers, noobs, monkeys, aliens, presidents and football players. Americans understand soccer. Channel regulars are people who have a nice house, a nice car and a nice computer. They usually found out about the existence of IRC around the year 2005 by a friend who told them to go there if they wanted to get some. The trolls. The trolls are a relative of the hackers family. These are mummels with similar physical appearance and lexicon to the IRC hackers. They live in caves built of McDonald's empty bags, dirty clothes and sci-fi magazines. Trolls, just like hackers, have troubles socializing. The closest they have been to a real female in their entire lives was when they decided to put a supermodel picture as their desktop wallpaper. Trolls can be often found on IRC, annoying people until the poor victims feel as though they want to punch the screen. When they do this they feel a sensation in their bodies similar to a Russian bride's orgasm. Trolls usually get the internet regulars by starting a normal conversation which at some point turns out to be a trap. Trolls start to point out apparent misspellings, typos, nonsensical expressions and things of the sort. As of Sunday, June 15th, the developers of magicsproject.net are developing a device which will allow normal people beat trolls to death through the internet. The British Army is already interested about this device as it will allow them get rid of online Greenpeace activists, pocket taxi drivers and Amnesty International members. the IRC administrators and IRC operators. These are a rare race whom in their past life surely have been part of some sort of law enforcement agency. They're pretty much like humans, always protecting the weak from the evil trolls and hackers. These operators are not usually the same kind of mumbles. Depending on their environment, they can severely modify their behavior. For instance, on a XDCC or whereas network operators ought to have an IQ level lower than Paris Hilton's. Net admins are the ultimate paradox. On one hand, they're always AFK, and rarely talk or greet chatters, but on the other they're very loving and caring. Net admins of respectable networks live in regular houses and they collect weird stuff. Some of them are bikers and they pretend they're mean because they ride a chopper motorcycle. Others collect swords and Scottish warriors' armory. Others are respectable coders, webmasters and programmers. Others are just very hot women who befriend a net admin with power. But they all have one very thing in common. A super tuned up computer. These net admin computers, which they call boxes, are usually faster than a muscle car and they have more disk space than the data center of Google. Among net admins they play to see who's got more RAM sticks in their motherboards, as if they were measuring who's got the longest penis. Also, computer uptime is a matter of discussion and show-offs. The one with the longest uptime is pretty much like the example I've said just a few seconds ago. The noob. The noob is the most unwanted creature in the IRC world. The noob is a mammal with similar looks to the hacker and the troll, but, unlike these two creatures, the noobs, despite of all the time they've spent on IRC, never learn how to socialize, be friendly, ask clever questions, or even to cause hassle. They're unwanted by either the hackers, the trolls, the operators, the IRC operators, the regulars and the clowns. The noobs are usually a direct descendant from the human beings. They might often look alike too. They usually live in regular houses surrounded by regular people who are often their mother, father, brothers and sisters, and although the rest of the noob's relatives act and live a normal life, the noob can't get to join them. The noob is the internet's outsider. A bouncing creature who can't easily find a place to call their own. Noobs can be easily spotted on chat rooms due to their amount of misspellings, grammar errors which make a dyslexic man look like an Oxford graduate compared to them. They also use very colorful tags and music banners. If I wanted to read what song you're playing, I would have asked you, idiot. I couldn't care less about the music you are playing. Why are you making it public? And why are you adding those horrible colors which hurt my sensitive IRC elite eyes? Noobs also can get drunk very easily. Just half a bottle of beer would do. After they're drunk they'll start spamming with frenzy and get global banned by a clever administrator. The clown. The clowns are unbooty my favorite race. They're normal people and often good looking. Clown women are pretty hot. They are usually in the regulars group, but they're not like them. Clowns are people who don't give a shit about techy PC nerdy stuff. They usually spend their time out in their real world making real friends and getting drunk in pubs and not in their bedrooms like noobs, hackers, irregulars, trolls and channel operators. Clowns are usually very random and funny. They make chat rooms feel alive and they usually befriend everybody except for the noobs. Net admins like clowns because they're cute. Channel operators don't. But they get over it eventually. Hackers and trolls like them because they're popular and if they befriend them it's going to make them look good. All of the animals mentioned in this video are fictional. Any similarities with the real IRC networks is merely a coincidence. Sincerely yours, Some Age. If you want to chat with me you can come to the network. I've been hanging out for the last 4 years.